Hey, Rawhide fans, I'm Jill Guerin, and I am joined here today with John Duplantier, who was with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He was with the Rawhide in 2017. Thank you so much for joining me, John.
No problem. No problem. Happy to be here.
Awesome. So how are you doing? I know everyone's kind of in a weird situation right now, but how are you doing?
Doing good. Doing real good. I think kind of in the same boat as everybody else, just trying to make the most out of it, trying to turn 15 cents into a dollar. But I mean, given the circumstances, family's healthy, I'm healthy. So I really can't complain there.
Good, good. Glad to hear that. All right, let's hop right into, the big question everyone wants to hear from you. How did you find out that you were being called up to the show?
Oh gosh. I love telling this story. And it's also because people keep asking. So I broke camp going to Reno. I was supposed to go to AAA team, Reno. And so I followed in my truck. I followed Taylor Widener and his wife and their dog. And we took a 2-day trip up to Reno, Nevada. Stayed at a haunted hotel, everything. And the thing is, our season in Reno wasn't supposed to start till April 7th. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to eat whatever I want, and we're going to stay up late and hang out. And so 2-day trip, I'm dog tired, and whatever. Well, we get to Reno. Some guys already gotten there. So we kind of just go and check in with everybody. And Taylor's apartment was already ready. Mine wasn't ready for me yet. And I had already had an apartment and everything. It wasn't ready. So I went to the team hotel, which is the casino hotel in Reno. And I was by myself. So I was like, you know what, let me go play some blackjack. So I took some money out and went and played. I think I took $100 out. I was just playing, and I'm sitting there and my phone starts vibrating, and you're not supposed to look at your phone at the table. So I was like, hey, if you don't mind, I got to take this. And so I get up, go look, and it's Mike Bell, and who's our farm director at the time. And he's like, hey, I'm not trying to freak you out, but you see what's been going on at the big league level with like the Dodgers going on that historic tear opening weekend against us. You see what's going on. I just need to know where everybody is. I need to know where you are. Where are you? I was like, I'm at the hotel in Reno. Okay, cool. He goes, again, I'm not trying to freak you out. Just got to know. I'm like, yeah, I'm not freaked out at all. Cool. I'm going to go back and okay, fine.
So he was just, in case he needed to call you up, he was trying to figure out where everyone was, where the plane flight was supposed to be from, that kind of thing?
So personally, I think as I tell this over and over again and like kind of think about it, I think he said that because he thought it would keep me from freaking out. But I think, to be honest, I think they were just like, hey, like, where's Duke? And I like to think that I was really the only option in this case. And so I was like, okay, we need to know where he is, but we don't want to freak him out. So we're going to act like we're looking for everybody. But when he said, I'm not trying to freak you out or anything, I was like, oh yeah, I'm not freaked out at all. Like, no, dude. Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So I sat back down and I'm going in and I'm $25 down. So I got $75 on the table and getting ready to play another hand. And my phone vibrates 20 minutes later. And I'm like, no. And so I kind of get up, and the people at the table are awesome. They're like, dude, go ahead, take the call. Cool. And so I take the call, and Mike's pretty much like, hey, so you're probably going to get called up. Doesn't tell me you are. He's like, you're probably going to get called up. Like, call your family and let them know, but like, it's got to be under wraps. Nobody can find out because somebody's going to have to go down, right? So just keep it under wraps. And then the flight is in 3 hours. Do not miss it. And I was like, I won't miss this flight. There's no chance, So I went back to the table and I was like, excuse me, I need to color out. And then the dude kind of ignored me. I was like, sir, ignored me. I said, it's yours. And he's like, what? I was like, can't tell you. And I just took off, called my parents, cried in the hotel lobby by myself. In a casino lobby of all places. So people didn't even check on me because they're like, oh, this happens all the time.
He lost all his money. That's what they were thinking.
Yeah, that's what they thought. No, it was wild. But, literally a crazy, probably, yeah, it's just a crazy 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's an awesome story where you get don't want to freak you out. And then well, you're probably going to be called up, but you do have a plane flight to catch. So you're thinking, so Mike, so I am called up. Like, there's a plane flight, you know?
Yeah.
It's
So
a weird situation.
there are so many, really, there are so many untold parts to this story, right? So like everybody, I've told the being in the casino and getting called up and what Mike told me and hey, catch the flight, right? But like what happened between me finally collecting myself after talking to my family and my brother and sister and my cousins who play baseball, you know, like what happened between then and then me catching that flight? Like I didn't have any place to stay in Reno. My truck was like literally my entire life. I had a whole apartment packed in my truck. Like I literally left it in the ballpark parking lot for a week. You know, like everything I pretty much owned, all my valuable stuff was in that parking lot for a week. You know, my bag, my equipment hadn't gotten to Reno yet because there's the truck broke down before it left Phoenix, so the truck is still driving to Reno when I'm on a flight to San Diego. So they actually had to have an intern take my bag when it was supposed to be like meet the players, I think. They had an intern, like his first week on the job. They're like, hey, man, I need your ID and I need you to get to I need you to come here. I need your ID scanned, and then you're going to have to come pick this bag up. You're going to the airport. He's like, what? Yeah, he literally checked my bag, flew to San Diego, stayed the night because he's from San Diego, and then flew back. And it was just like,
wow,
deliver this bag. It took me 30 minutes before game time. You know, it's just so many unsung heroes in that 36 hours. You know, it's nuts.
Yeah, it gives a little glimpse into just how crazy the minor league baseball system is, and then being affiliated with the team. It's a wild story there. But let's go into your first appearance with the Diamondbacks. What was your thought process when you were warming in the pen for that appearance?
I while I was warming up, it was all these emotions. It was just like every pitch I threw, it was kind of like this sense of, I mean, because everything I was throwing was high, you know. Everything I was throwing was high. Catchers just reaching for it, and they're like, who is this kid? You know, like, oh my, this is terrible. What the heck? Like, I threw 30 pitches down there, and anybody that knows warming up, especially for a reliever, like, you don't want to throw too much. You don't want to overcook yourself. And I definitely was close to overcooking myself, you know. But every pitch was kind of like I would throw it and it'd be high, and it's like, oh my gosh, like, am I ready for this? You know, like what's about to happen out there? And so this unbelievable amount of nerves, you know. The bullpen coach actually physically had to get on the mound in front of me between me and the catcher and stop me from throwing because I was throwing so much so quickly. He had to stop and stand there and tell me to breathe, right? Like,
wow.
Hey, stop, breathe. 2 pitches go by, he'd be like, throw one, and he'd get out my way, throw a pitch, he'd be like, good pitch, stand back there, and he'd be like, take a deep breath. You know, like, warming up was the worst. Like, I mean, it was the worst, best combination of nerves I've ever had in my life. If I could get that feeling, that experience of the adrenaline shot that I got when they told me I was in the game, if I get that bottled up and then just get a little bit of injection here and there, like, I would never drink coffee again. It was unbelievable, you know, unbelievable.
And then you had a pretty dang good appearance too. It was 3 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, and you got the save. So what was that feeling afterwards?
Yeah, during it, I don't remember anything.
That's you blacked out, basically.
Yeah, I remember striking, getting my first strikeout, and kind of throwing the pitch, and then afterwards, I was like a deer in the headlights. I was like, strikeout. Oh, walk around, and then so I walked around, and then the next thing I remember is the last out, and I'm starting to kind of walk off the mound towards the dugout. I'm like, wait a minute, the game's over. Walk to the catcher, you know, like a closer, and shake his hand. And so I got to go shake and give Al a hug. And no joke, like, I think I hope Al remembers what I said. because I like to think I do, but I'm not sure what I said. But I think I literally looked at him and I said, "This is the coolest thing I've ever done in my life." We just got to chuckle at Al because Al's like the godfather. He's just this cool, just Uncle Al, and so he just laughed at me, this young kid, and this is the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. And that's how I felt, really, truly. That's how I felt. It was, great experience.
Yeah, I mean, first big league appearance and you get a save, no earned runs over 3 innings. That's probably the coolest thing you've ever done, to be honest, at that point in time. So what is one thing about playing for a major league team that you didn't expect? Like, what surprised you?
The electricity in the air, you watch baseball movies, and when they show Wild Thing coming in, when they show Mo Vaughn coming in, and it's like, okay, Wild Thing, wow, this is a freaking party, or when the big bad 4-hole comes up in the bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, 3-2 count, and the lights are like this, just beautiful, bright, and it's this clearest, and all you see is the pitcher, the umpire, the hitter, the catcher, that is what it feels like. That's actually what it feels like. It feels like a movie every time you're out there pitching or playing. I mean, it's unbelievably clear. The lights are unbelievable, but more so just being on the field versus in the stands is there's a tingle on your skin the entire time. Like, okay, there's 30,000 here, and they are here to watch us play baseball, and that never leaves you. I mean, I asked when I was up there, my first stint. So I got called up in San Diego. Then we flew home and played against the Red Sox at home for our home opener. And I think in the second game, I asked TJ McFarland in the bullpen before the game too. Nothing had even happened yet, and I said, "TJ, does this ever get old?" And he looked back at me real cool. He was like, "Never." I was like, "Oh." It's just this electricity that you can't get anywhere else. I mean, it's I mean, no joke. It makes me want to do like this with my hands right now. That was
it sounds magical. And just his answer, TJ's answer, is a movie quote in itself right there. That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's throw it back to 2017 when you were with the Rawhide. So you got called up about halfway through the season from Kane. You did really well, 6-2, 1.56 ERA. Obviously, you had some great memories on the field, probably some off the field. Do you have a favorite Rawhide memory?
My favorite Rawhide memory. It's less a singular memory.
Okay.
More so a just an overall experience with some teammates. That year was, I mean, that year I was outside of myself. Realistically, like, I don't remember pitching too much. It was just like I was on cruise control, and everything was working for me, and I got to meet, and I was learning consistently from different guys, right? So because things were going so well, it put me in a position where, and I realized this, where I was like, okay, like when I was in Kane County, I figured out I learned what needed to happen to be successful there. And as soon as I got that nailed down, okay, what needs to happen in Hyatt? Like, what am I going to have to be able to do in Visalia to succeed? And then after that, what's next, And in Visalia, with the staff and the players that we had, the catchers that we had Baker, we had Jonesy, Kate Lees was there for, so it's like, what am I like? What's next? What are we learning? And so the conversations I had there, my roommate on the road was Tommy Evil, Touchdown Tommy, and he was having a great year, and so, and I mean, he's one of my best friends. So like, because of our time in Visalia, it's just, I mean, it was more of like an overall experience, just like, okay, there's a group of guys here that are constantly growing as baseball players. And so that kind of that solidified a foundation for me where it's like, okay, I know how to grow now. And I learned that in Visalia with Badge, Vihey, You know what I mean? Badge V, Hay, Shelley, Tommy, catchers, all of them.
Right. So you kind of touched on your teammates a little bit there, and I actually reached out to a few of them who you were with either in Kane or with the Rawhide, and the two things that they said about you is that you have an amazing work ethic and you're really close with your family. So first off, let's touch on the work ethic. Some people are kind of, born with that drive and everything. Others have to create that work ethic from whether it's a passion or not. What's yours from? What's your work ethic from?
So I think a lot of it has to do with playing football from an early age in Texas. Football, especially in Texas, in the heat of summer, when you have to have 2 pairs of cleats because you're liable to melt your cleats on the turf in high school. There's a lot of physical bodily pain that you experience, and then you experience it, and in the moment it's tough, and you realize that, and afterwards you're like, okay, cool, I took a nap and I woke up and I'm all right. I'm okay. I killed myself this morning, but I'm okay. I'm gonna eat dinner tonight. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna wake up and do it again. And then when I got to college, I was able to do that because I just had the energy to. I was young and I was good at baseball and it was fun and whatever. But I started to enjoy that. I started to really enjoy lifting, working out, and not necessarily enjoying the running or the sweat, but the understanding that, okay, in this moment right now, at least these guys I see, I'm better off than you. I worked harder today than you. I gave myself more. I gave of myself more. I really like that. And up until recently, a lot of my confidence, physically confidence, like baseball, I like the feeling of standing on the mound, and a lot of my game I attributed, or early on, it was my size. I'm a bigger guy. So I like to stand on the mound and feel, and just not feel, know. And I'd like you to know I am bigger than you. I'm better than you. And if something happens and, okay, a fastball does get away and it hits you on accident, I'm never going to hit you on purpose. But if I throw in and it gets you and you want to turn and you think it was on purpose, you want to come see me, you don't want to do that, I like that feeling where it's like, okay, hey, there's nothing you can do. You can try and get in my mind, but guess what? My body's mine. I worked for this. It's almost like it's just this. Nope, that's another thing I don't have to worry about. We put in the physical preparation. So my mind jumps around a lot, but
I like it. I like that I get to go into your head a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, essentially it started off just like, okay, it's just what we did when I was younger. Playing football, it's what you do. You work hard and you work with guys, right? You work hard with them, and y'all sweat and y'all cry when you're a kid and all that, but you do it. And then I started to enjoy it, which caused me to keep doing it. And then I realized why I enjoyed it, because it made me feel a certain way, and that just fueled the fire even more.
No, I definitely understand where you're coming from. I played softball in school, and I just loved the feeling of being powerful. I know I can do whatever I want and be able to protect myself, that kind of thing. So I hear you. I get it.
Exactly. Being powerful is it's unique, it's this feeling that, okay, and it's like you earned it. I earned this. I don't deserve it, and I never deserve it. I'm not entitled to this. I'm not entitled to this feeling that I'm bigger and better than you, and therefore you shouldn't challenge me, or you should feel smaller around me. No, I feel like I've earned this. I've worked for this, and I like that feeling. So that just kind of keeps that cycle going.
Yeah, definitely. And it's obviously a cycle that works for you too. For the second part that they mentioned about you, with how close you are with your family, I'm not gonna lie, I've been kind of stalking your Instagram stories through the Visalia Rawhide Instagram. With your food gets me hungry every single time I see it. But not only with playing baseball, but especially in the minor league level, you're not around your family very often. How difficult is that for you, especially with how close you are with them?
So yeah, being the way I am with my family, shoot, it was a big reason I actually ended up choosing baseball over football out of high school. I was going to go to Yale, play football and baseball, but mainly football. And I decided to stay close to home, go to Rice, play baseball because I didn't want to be away from my mom too long. I was gone away from her for about a month, and I was like, I ain't like that. I'm gonna stay home. So I was 30 minutes away. Well, and then so now I'm in college and all that stuff. But then like those first 3 months, when I went to Hillsboro and then I was in Arizona, those were the longest 3 months ever. I didn't realize what it meant to be away from home because I never had left home, and so shoot, yeah, that first little season was tough.
How'd you get through it?
A lot of FaceTimes, a lot of FaceTiming, just constant communication. Fortunately, I pitched in 2 All-Star games, so it was cause for them to make the trips. They could. My dad's like, okay, yeah, we're taking off work. John's pitching to Miami. Let's go. And I got cousins that play baseball, so they came up to the All-Star game in the Midwest League before I got promoted. So I got to see him. A couple of times throughout the year. My mom always makes the first appearance when I'm going to pitch every year. So even though I know, okay, hey, listen, like I'm not going to see y'all, but maybe over the next 6 months, I'm not going to see y'all maybe shoot, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. The phone calls, the FaceTimes, the visits that I do get, it doesn't feel like we go too long without seeing each other.
Good. Were they there for your MLB debut?
Yes. So when I called my parents, it had probably been around 3:00 Reno. So yeah, it was about 5:00 back home. Yeah, 5:00 back home, and I was like, yo. They're like, are you going to pitch tomorrow or are you going to pitch on Tuesday? Like, what's going on? And because it was a Sunday, and I was like, they're calling me up. Our bullpen's taxed. Like, I could probably pitch tomorrow. So, like, y'all got to get out there. And, like, cool. So, it was tough. My brother and sister couldn't make it. Like, my best friend from college, I had told him, and he was going to come out, but he couldn't get out there till Tuesday. I ended up pitching on Monday, but my parents had got there at 1:30. So, I got to see him. I didn't see him before the game. I saw him after BP.
Okay.
It was cool. Yeah. So my parents made it out, but my brother and sister, they didn't make it to San Diego. They made it to Phoenix against the Red Sox. So they got to see my second appearance. Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. It's always an important part to spend it with family. All right. So we talked a little about 2017. Let's fast forward to today. You've been really busy this offseason. You were with the MLB The Show Players League. And then earlier this week, or I think it was yesterday actually, your time with Lauren Chamberlain on Stacked was released and everything. So I want to go into those appearances. First of all, how was MLB The Show Players League for you, and how did you find out about it?
So it was a lot of fun. They reached out. My agency had called me and said, hey, listen, like, you play video games, right? And I was like, I mean, yeah.
You're a baseball pitcher. Everyone does.
I mean, yeah, like I'm not, some of these guys go crazy on it, but I do dabble, and so I was like, yeah, I play video games. And it's like, hey, listen, like, this is what they're talking about. Would you be interested? And I was like, for sure. Cause it combines a couple of things that I love: baseball, interacting with fans, and I mean, video games. I'm not gonna say I love video games, but I do enjoy playing them. So I was like, yeah, I'm down. But it was a ton of fun. It was actually a lot more fun than I thought it would be. I thought it was actually gonna be kind of a hassle. Once I agreed to it, I was pumped, and then I was like, wait a minute, what did I just agree to? And then it was so much fun because they send out all the rules and they're like, hey, like, kids watching all this stuff, and I was like, oh man, like, I gotta watch what I say and I gotta watch what I'm doing and all this stuff. And I was like, wait a minute, I ain't worried about. What am I worried about? Like, we're just playing video games. Like, like, relax. And then so we did and had a blast. Got to chat with some guys. Got to watch some guys who played a ton of video games absolutely just do their thing. They were in their environment, which was cool to
That
see.
was ridiculous. Blake Snell. My goodness. For Stacked with Lauren Chamberlain, how did that one come about? It was released this week, but when did you record?
So we recorded that during spring training. I want to say late February. So we were actually recorded that out in Phoenix. And so I had met some of the MLB social media team this offseason when I was out in LA, and kind of just hanging out with them, being around those guys, kind of made an impression where I think they enjoyed my personality a little bit and made them laugh a couple times. So they were like, hey, we have this idea, like, do you want to do it? Like, and I was like, I guess so, like, okay, cool. And so yeah, it was super sick. I think they invited me, and I showed up, and I was super nervous. And I don't know if you could tell, my armpits were super sweaty and all that stuff. But, like,
I did see it at one point.
Oh yeah.
Sorry if it was hot or not.
After a while, I was like, you know what? Like, being cool is cool, but like, I gotta be me, and I'm just not cool. I'm just not. I'm nervous and I'm goofy and silly and all the above. So Lauren, she took that and ran with it. She noticed I was nervous and kind of threw me some alley oops and made me have some fun. So I'm indebted to her for that.
Yeah, I'm jealous you got to hang out with her, because again, like, playing softball and everything, she was someone that I looked up to and everything. So super jealous.
So many times I'm like, yo, she's some goofy girl like the rest of us. Y'all are tripping. But nah, she could actually bang. I think I went and watched some highlights, and I'm like,
she's so good.
That's why.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Don't throw that there. Got you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, she's awesome. That's really cool. So other than that stuff, what have you been doing during this time off?
I was hanging with family. So I'm at my parents' house in Houston. Me, my parents, my brother, our dog, my sister's finishing up school, and then she's gonna head home. So we've just been hanging out, eating a lot of good food. My mom's she's been cutting up in the kitchen. Let me tell you, she's been cutting up. My dad's been grilling and smoking stuff, teaching me the ways of the Traeger. But a lot of Netflix. We've been watching shows as a family, Hulu and all that. Me and my dad play dominoes. So we're doing anything we can, anything and everything that we can, because I pretty much only leave the house to go work out.
Mm-hmm. So 2 questions off of that. What are the shows you're watching on Netflix as a family?
Yeah, so I'm watching, or as a family, we're watching Stephen King's Castle Rock on Hulu.
Nice.
We watched Westworld. Or we're watching, I guess they're still dropping episodes weekly. Me, my dad, and my brother were watching The Last Dance on ESPN, the Bulls documentary. We watched Ozarks already. We watched, what else did we watch? Yeah, I think I got a couple works in progress right now. I think I just started Outer Banks. I'm trying to see if I like it or not. I don't know. I know Sylvie's got a whole bunch of movies that I need to watch on Netflix. I'm like, dude, have you watched it? I'm like, no, man. Like,
that's because Sylvie's not doing anything. All right.
I know it's Sylvie's. We've been playing video games. I've been playing video games with Sylvie every day. Ma'am, hold on, Mom. I'm on an interview. Mama, you need me? Okay, sorry.
All right. I'll finish up quickly. Two questions for you. What are you doing in terms of working out with baseball and everything?
Yeah. So, my off season, the gym that I work out in off season, they're still open, in capacity, smaller groups and at different times, which has been great. I go in there twice a week. Pretty much just do full body workouts. Just keep it moving as I would as this was the season. And pretty much did like a hybrid, take a break, give my arm a break, really see what's, just trying to stay loose. See when we hear something, it's weird times, real weird times. I think that the show, the players' tourney, actually like kept the competitive juices going, which was nice. Had a lot of the same feelings that you feel late in the game or in tight situations where it's like, okay, I really want this to go the right way, but I mean, obviously in a fraction of it, but yeah, my heart rate got pretty high in that. So that was part of my training as well.
Cool. And then final question for you. It's kind of a twofold, but what are you looking forward to most for once baseball does start? And is there anything in particular you're working on for this upcoming season?
And what am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to getting back to work. And, I think a lot of people are with me in this boat where we succeed, we do better work, we do better just in general, like day to day with the schedule, right? Right now, I can wake up at whatever time I want. I can work out, kind of whenever I want. I can play video games whenever I want. I can do whatever I want day to day, which for some is great, and the autonomy is awesome. But like, I know I thrive in a situation where, okay, when I go to sleep tonight, I already know for the next 2 days pretty much what I'm gonna be doing at certain times of the day, and getting in that schedule and that routine. I feed off that, so I'm kind of looking forward to that, just personally. Now, hopefully, we get to play in front of fans.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is like when we can finally all get back to the stadium together. Not just us, not just the staff, not but like when I can go out early before a game, walk down the line, and go and like take a picture with a kid, or say what's up. Like I love that.
Get that magic feeling back.
Just bring the magic back. Like I didn't realize, and before I got called up, I didn't realize how in high regard these kids view us. For the most part, their dads, like people our age, are like, okay, cool, like you're really good at what you do. That's awesome. But like these kids were superheroes,
Yeah.
And selfishly, it makes me feel good. It gives me confidence. Like, oh dang, I'm like a superhero. I'm gonna go be a superhero today. But like, then you get to be on the other side of that and say, okay, this kid sees me as a superhero. Like, you just like, hey, nah, man. Like, hey, you don't have to call me sir, bro. Like, I'm 25. I'm your friends, dude. Like, oh, the facial hair, like, this could be gone tomorrow, and you literally won't recognize me, and we can just hang out, dude. Like, let's just chill. I think I miss that, because you put people so high sometimes. It's like, no, man, like, we're normal too, dude. This is literally not that far off from what you think you could be doing. Like, this is attainable.
Yeah, you were them at one point.
100%. Like sitting in the outfield during BP, and the kid's like, "Hey, can I get a ball? Can I get a ball? Can I get a ball?" And like, just throwing the ball. Like, we're not gonna miss the ball. We're not gonna miss the ball. But like, they think it's the coolest thing on the planet, And I had this crazy feeling. We were in San Diego at the end of the year. So I started my year in San Diego, and then our last road trip was San Diego. And I was sitting on the outfield with Kevin Ginkle, Taylor Clark, Alex Young. We're sitting out there, and I was sitting out there, and I was the guy that, like, you don't really know what his name is. Hey, number 57. Hey, number 57. And then, like, maybe one person might know, hey, yo, Dupe, or whatever. And you turn around and you toss him a ball. I remember being 8 years old, going to a baseball game at Minute Maid Park on my birthday with my friends, and we sat for BP in right field, and we did the exact same thing. And for some reason, I have this memory of me as an 8-year-old going, I don't even know who this guy is. I don't know who this guy is, but he threw me a ball, and it made my day. And then I realized in that moment, I was the guy that nobody knew, like, they didn't know who I was, but I threw him a ball and just made that kid's day. And I was like, circle.
Yeah.
It's a whole circle. And we just completed one circle. That is awesome, Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that again.
That's great. Well, thanks so much, John. I don't want to keep you too long. I don't want to keep your mom waiting. So I really do appreciate you taking the time. This is great. It was so much fun. And hopefully I'll be able to catch up with you at some point, either at spring training or something. So
yeah, nice talking to you, Jill.
Yeah, thank you.